But on other notes and other fronts, all is well. No, I'm not fluent in Chinese. Am I still cool with KG? I never wasn't not cool with KG. Remember, I told you Kevin McHale created that, and Kev fell for that bull. That's what he did. But he was younger then. It was easy to get Kev to fall for things when he was younger. His mind wasn't really like that when we were younger. So, because his mind wasn't like that when we were in high school, you know, took some time for him to grow and to learn what was real and what wasn't real. I tell people all the time, just because I'm from New York, that doesn't mean that I feel like I know more than somebody that's not from New York. But when you're from a small town like Malden, South Carolina, like Kevin Garnett was, it's okay for you just not to know because you weren't exposed to certain things. I was exposed to more things than you could ever be exposed to in your life from the life that we live. So my understanding is a lot deeper, right? It's a lot deeper. It's just more understanding, just more know. You know, you just know where to go. You know what to do and not to do. So, you know, when people try to make this thing about me and KG, I'm like, I don't really understand what you're talking about. It's really not making no sense. I mean, at all. What am I jealous about? Dude said, oh, you should have took them, you got mad and left Minnesota because they didn't pay you the money. I said, you sound stupid. You sound so stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about. What up, what up? I'm like, you really don't know what you're talking about. I said, during the year that we were going to be able to resign, I went to Glenn Taylor. First of all, let's start from like this. When I first got to Minnesota, I thought Minnesota was cool. Don't get me wrong. I went in the summertime. I went to Minnesota right after the draft. We got drafted, and then I went to Minnesota. It was hot. It was blazing. Actually, I had a suit on. I was like, man, they said it's freezing here, but you know, it's the summertime. Wintertime came. Yo, I went from New York to Atlanta. I went from New York to Atlanta. From Atlanta to Minnesota. No, yeah. Let's say I went from CI to Atlanta, Atlanta to Minnesota. Now, I spent my first year there. It's cool, we make the playoffs. They never made the playoffs. They never made the playoffs. 9 years, Minnesota never made the playoffs. KG got drafted by Minnesota. For the first 56 games, Kev was on the bench. That's where he was at. He was on the bench. Do you know what the bench feel like? Does anybody know what the bench feel like? Do you know what the bench feel like? That's all I want to know, the bench. That's a real powerful word, my dude, in basketball. Nobody like that word. Nobody want to associate themselves with the bench. You feel me? So, it's death. That's exactly. So when you got to sit on the bench and you got to watch the game, you have a different understanding and a different opinion about basketball. You feel me? Because when you watch the game, okay, I put it to you like this. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Because I know about the bench too. I know about the bench too. When I was in Boston, I felt the bench. And man, the bench, it talked to you. It really talked to you. It talked to you at night. It talked to you during the game. It talked to you. It talked to you after the game, when you're in the shower. You start thinking about the bench. I'm keeping it 100 with you. And I'm not saying all of this because KG was on the bench. I'm just talking about the bench. But he was on the bench his first year as a rookie. He didn't see the floor. He didn't see the floor. For about 56 games, he didn't touch the ground. He ain't touched the ground. When I got to Minnesota, it's just a difference. We're not talking about who got better over time and who did what over time. We starting out from the beginning where it was. So we start out from the beginning and then we go to the end. Right? So I don't know what Kev really do, to be honest, as far as what his thinking is and trying to do whatever he do in basketball and in the culture. What I do know about Kevin Garnett is this. He one of the hardest working people in basketball. He loved the game more than, I don't know nobody that loved basketball more than Kevin. That play it, that really do it from when we were younger. And I know Kev from when he moved to Chicago. You know what I'm saying? When he had the white Lexus when he was in high school at Farragut, when he first went to the league. So funny, we went to go watch him play the preseason game, a Pro-Am game in Chicago, in Illinois at the Pro-Am. Kev just got out, he just got his whip, played the game. Kev jumped in the whip and bounced on us. I said, oh, word? You going to the NBA? That's how it is? You getting brand new on me? Oh, all right. I got you. You was in my crib with my brother in the hood, son. Sleeping on damn near on the floor, 7'2". Come on, man. We keep it 100, A1 from the beginning, yo. Yeah, I'm still cool with Kev. I ain't never stopped being cool with Kev. Just so you know. Never. When I stop being cool with you, it's for a reason. You know, and I know. I don't need everybody else to know. But when everybody else do know, they know for a reason. Because then it becomes the season. But I hope I answered your question. But it was cool playing with Minnesota and playing with Kev. First year we made the playoffs. Second year we made the playoffs. That was it. After that, they started yelling at Stockton and Malone. And I was talking about I'm going home. I was not talking about spending 7 years of my life in Minnesota. This had nothing to do with Kevin. This had nothing to do with, which people don't realize and what they don't understand. Just because you see something good in me or in the team or in whatever you got going on what you thinking, what you feeling, that's not what that human being that's doing what you're liking to see, that's not what they're probably thinking or what they want to do. And that's fine. You shouldn't get mad because somebody didn't make a decision that you thought that they should have made. Oh, LeBron left to go to the Lakers. So what? He left to go to the Lakers. It's his life. He can do what he want to do. He's a free agent. That's why it's called free.